and welcome to the Higher Estate, where we talk about all things related to cannabis. We're bridging the gaps between the medical world and the recreational lifestyle legacy market world. My name is Dr. Ira Price, and here we just cut through bullshit. What do you think about that, Al?
Oh, dude, you know I'm for the bullshit cutting through.
Really?
Great.
You like the bullshit?
No, he likes cutting through it. He just said it in a very weird way.
Oh. I thought you said you like the bullshit coming through. You mean cutting?
No,
Cutting. Okay. I got it. So today, that's what we do. We're going to cut through bullshit. That's what we do. We get rid of the BS. Either BS is bullshit or it's bro science. You know? Bro science is like, bro,
Bro.
it's going to cure your cancer, bro.
Yeah, CBD fixes everything.
CBD is going to cure your cancer and
Got
your
Alzheimer's, no problem.
HIV
Yeah.
and your Alzheimer's, your IBD, IBS, emphysema,
I think it's
obesity, diabetes.
the most-
Al, you froze up there, buddy.
Oh yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you
Oh,
didn't.
no, he just was.
Dude, how do you sit that still?
You're like a gargoyle.
Dude, I thought you weren't even real. I was like, you froze.
You got cast
I
into
can
stone.
see you now. You can't get away from us anymore. Not like last week. That was awesome. So,
We need a mold of Al like Han Solo.
yeah. What's that one that what's that thing they used to do with what's that guy on Al? What's his name?
On what?
On Howard Stern.
Yeah, okay.
You know Howard Stern has that flat Albert or flat Stanley, flat something. No one knows what I'm talking about.
I listen to a lot of Howard Stern.
But more newer one, yeah.
Yeah, but back in the day they
Like
had
before Artie.
they had like that poster or like that cutout of
I think I know what you're
Flat
talking
Stanley.
about.
You
But
guys
that's like
don't know what I'm
that's like
talking about.
radio days.
I
That
don't
was
know what
before.
was that a
Sirius
long
and
time ago?
everything. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
anyways.
You know what?
We
Actually,
need to cut out of Al.
I still listen to Howard Stern, all the old ones on YouTube. They're all on YouTube.
All the ones
They're
with Artie are
friggin'
on there,
awesome.
and it's awesome. Yeah.
Hey Al, if you're thinking, I go to Randy's Patties. That's where I go for patties in Toronto. It's on Eglinton.
Is that Toronto?
Yeah, it's on.
Eglinton.
Yeah, it's
That's where I am.
a very, very good spot. Check it out.
Eglinton and what?
It's on, fuck, I'll tell you right now.
We're talking about where we can get pizza because we
I
are
already
going to
ordered.
have like
I already
a
ordered
got
it.
pizza.
a break. I don't know if it'll be a break or it'll just be
Just
Tyler going to get a pizza from the door.
Pretty much.
I won't eat it because I'm eating nutritious.
Pizza can be nutritious.
Boys. Anyway, so-
Eglinton Avenue West in York.
Okay.
all right.
something
So
like
this is
that.
what we're going to be doing, guys. Listen, we have a whole new system. Now we have Al on the TV screen.
Booyaka.
We've got a new mixer majiggy thing over here. Thanks to Lucas getting it, and Al and Lucas somehow figuring their shit out and making love to all the electricity, or what do you call this, techie stuff?
electricity,
Okay, still electricity.
Electricity's good.
We
It's all
got
dependent.
all new cords,
which sound
which sound
so
do
good.
they sound good?
They sound really good.
Okay, they don't sound like they.
No, but
haven't-
more than anything, it's like I can individually bring in all the mics and control them independently.
That's amazing.
That's the
Okay,
main thing.
so I didn't bring any guests on today or create any structure just in case everything fell apart and we had to just bullshit our way through it because we've been down this road before.
Prepare for chaos.
So the only thing we,
What time did we start last week?
3:45 maybe.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even here.
It took me It took us 39 minutes to start talking about what we were supposed to talk
Usually
about. Al
I'm the
doesn't
one
even look like
slowing
he's
it down.
moving.
I know.
I'm usually the one who slows you guys
Yeah,
down.
usually you don't start because whatever. So
He's
what
busy
we're
with
going to
patients and
start
stuff.
doing, our new format, or it's not a new format, same format, but you know how we've been reviewing articles, and although it's a lot of fun to review articles, or no, let me rephrase that. It's very interesting to review articles. It's also boring as fuck. Yeah, look at Al. This is Al. I mean, even I was bored last time listening to myself like do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I think
They're
we're-
kind of almost designed that way to be that dry, right?
they are,
Yeah.
but we're gonna change it up.
It's a different format, and the seminar thing, unless you're listening to a seminar that's going on, really doesn't help the conversation.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's boring. So we're gonna do like Rotten Tomatoes kind of things. We're gonna have the bro science meter,
Yeah.
but instead of Rotten Tomatoes, we're gonna do a BS meter. Bro Science Meter, and we'll all go through giving it some ratings. Basically, I'll be like, here's the study. Here's the result of the study. I think it's shit or great because of this. What do you think in the real world this stuff really turns into? Okay, we're done reviewing the study. Does that sound like a good idea?
From a conversation point, sure.
And then we'll talk about like stuff related to it and interviews and all that other business. What do you think? No?
I'm good, brother. You know.
All right. So today we have a whole lot of news to talk about. That's going to take us through. We're going to start off with doing like 20 minutes of news because we got a lot of news to talk about this week. Tyler's our news guy.
This is a really interesting article that just came out. Hold on. This is actually it's not related to humans, but listen to this. Vets thought these Icelandic horses had nerve disorders,
Oh, yeah, I saw that,
but it turned out that they were eating wild cannabis.
Sorry, what?
yeah. Yep.
Back in 2011, about 7 horses fell ill, displaying certain neurological symptoms and unexplained hunger. Interesting. But thanks to the Icelandic Association of Veterinarians, who, with the help of the American Association of blah, 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 AAEP, did a little... They did a toxicity report on these horses and found out that somehow they were eating wild cannabis in Iceland.
Are they still alive?
The horses are fine. They're totally fine.
What?
The horses are totally alive and fine. There they are right there. They look happy. They had unexplained hunger.
Oh, they just wanted to eat a lot?
That, and apparently they thought it was a nerve disorder, but...
Why? Did they
were
have
just
like
stoned.
a wild tick?
No.
Or were they just
reading-
going... No idea. Al, what do you got going on over there? Is that your Shatterizer?
I'm puffing on some platinum BHO. It's a berry punch, and it's something new. It's a clearer shatter than I've seen before from Champion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's clear shatter.
You got a good picture coming through. Look at that, eh?
I adjusted it before you guys called me.
Oh, it looks really good. Looks good. You look thin. You look fit.
Thin.
You look fit.
Peaked.
Yeah, you look good. I mean, you look good either way. The beard looks good. It's very Santa.
Yes,
You're
well,
the Jewish Santa.
the Jewish Santa. That's what I call it.
Looks really good. I don't know about wild horses, but there is a grizzly bear going on over here. Some freeloading bear with a case of the munchies went for a dispensary at dumpster in Colorado. Did you see that?
Yeah.
These bears must be really hungry.
So it said also
Oh.
the horses, they
All right.
don't know where they found the cannabis. They're just assuming it was in a field somewhere that they were roaming free.
So why do they think it's wild cannabis? Maybe the horses went to some
Because they
dude's-
can't explain the origin of it.
Wild cannabis.
Yeah. I wonder who owned.
Who
It
planted
wasn't the
it?
guy that planted it who owned
Yeah, no, it was-
owned the farm. It was some wild guy. The guy
Some
that
guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
some guy. I don't know. Anybody know a guy?
Obviously, I guess Iceland's laws are probably
Probably pretty bad.
pretty bad. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you remember back on that topic. Remember when I went to the Arctic? I did that ski. You probably
Yeah.
weren't here. Were you here when I did that ski trip? It
No,
was
but
maybe
you did a
just
ski
before
trip
you.
this year.
I did, but 2 years ago, maybe just before you started, you probably were here.
I
when-
think I was here,
when
yeah.
I did that that Iceland. I did.
I remember you talking about
Anyway,
it.
so I did this.
Yeah.
I went to I did this trip. Anyway, bottom line was I was in Iceland and skiing, and then what happened? So one of the guides on this trip, he was talking about cannabis. Remember, and I was talking, and this was still back in the Prohibition days, but Iceland is still over there in that Prohibition
Oh, yeah.
sort of mentality. But this guy, remember, he was telling me his name was Vedar. He was our
Vader. They have the most badass
Vader.
names.
Like, yeah, he basically looks like you.
yeah, we're Vikings.
He's short
Yeah.
too. Like I'm sure, like
Short and stocky.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like remember in the movie The Hobbit. You know, like
Yeah.
you know those
Gimli.
Vikings. Like no, but the guys with the red beards.
Yeah,
they're like-
yeah. Gimli. It's the what
were
do they call them?
They were like the mountain people.
Oh, they have a name. Not
What,
the
from Game of
Elves.
Thrones?
Were they
yeah.
elves?
No. From Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
What?
What? How is that
Never
even
seen
possible?
Lord of the Rings?
I've read The Hobbit and other books, but no, I
Okay.
don't.
Okay, but The Hobbit, it's the same idea. But
Yeah,
they
I
were-
read the
you know
like
the
that
Viking
book.
guys.
The guys
that,
that
like,
mind. What was their name?
the short dudes. Anyway, y'all look like them.
It's on Netflix
But
now.
they're like,
I'm
you don't
probably
want to
gonna
fuck
watch
with
them.
you don't want to fuck with those people.
I don't like.
I'm sure
mythical
somebody on
movies.
Instagram is telling us now, but we can't see it. That's the only fault we still have is we can't see our Instagram.
Yeah,
Actually,
true.
you know what, Ira? Once we get everything, all the bugs worked out, we can. Somebody
Dwarf.
can request an
Dwarfs.
invite to show you their video while you're doing your video. Right?
Say
you
what?
can see them while you're on camera on Instagram, basically. Like you can invite them into your.
Oh, I get you. So,
But live though, that's the problem.
hey, why don't we
Yeah.
put yours up right here, and then you can ask questions?
Let's see if I
Why
can.
didn't we ever think about that?
Of what?
Because he can pull up his Instagram and see what people are saying. Because
Oh,
mine's
and-
the live
and-
one,
and then
and then we could just
share it
we
to
could
Al.
just
Well,
or we could just
oh.
answer on his.
All I have to do is
I
mute
think
the.
you know what? I
This
might be
muted.
able to figure that out.
Yeah, you just call Al. Like I can invite you to the.
Yeah, but Al doesn't. We need it.
I know, but I can invite Tyler to this session, and then
What
he
the
can screen share.
Fuck is my login?
We'll figure it out on.
We can do that at another time.
Do you know what I mean?
But yeah,
Al,
that's-
if you go onto your Instagram right now, go to my live, you can see what people are saying.
Yeah, you could screen share it too.
You see,
I can go on to.
go onto my live, just mute it,
If you screen
and
share,
then you can see what people are saying. Al,
if you screen share
And
and
you can
split share
communicate
yourself.
with them too.
dude,
Yeah.
we could even we're not,
Yeah,
we
Al,
may
if-
use
Yeah,
cannabis.
I don't want to start messing with video while I'm running audio.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, it's just
I mean,
turning on the.
It's not that big of a deal.
Instagram.
It's like, yeah, you
Just go to your Instagram. Go to
Yeah,
four.
on him. I know that's where I am. I can look at your video, but I.
Good. So keep
yeah.
watch the comments.
Can you screen share
That's it. Don't screen share. Just watch the comments and
then
tell
we
me.
can
No,
see
it's
it
on
too.
another computer.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't even see it live on there yet.
did I forget to press start?
Actually,
I went
really,
on it already. I went on it.
Is it
already.
on there?
Really,
It
I
was,
could
yeah.
do it too.
I went on it.
Let me see here. So if I go on,
It's going.
It's going. All right. Oh yeah, we're totally live. All right. So I'll turn your volume down.
hold on.
Maybe. We're good, people. We're
Look,
good.
We can look at it right now. What are people saying?
We got it. Oh, you can look at what people are saying. Okay,
Yeah.
dwarfs, that was it. Anyways, bottom line, I don't know how we got off the topic because we usually stay on topic really well. By the way, I think I owe a lot of money already into this swear jar.
Yeah, probably.
So what he was saying about Iceland, he said basically the president, it's a very conservative country when it comes to cannabis. And I used to use his example when I would give a lecture because they still believe that cannabis, heroin, death. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, if you're using cannabis, you're going to be using heroin, and if you're using heroin, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Cannabis equals death.
But-
that's basically what they still believe over
Yeah.
there. So,
but they have the
it's-
benefit of being really small and they can change very quickly. Like if you look at what happened to the banking system there, they
Right.
changed that on a dime. They threw them in jail and they changed it like, literally one
they threw
protest.
who and what? Yeah.
So their
they-
old president that,
yeah.
when the banking scandal happened, they threw the bankers in jail,
Yeah.
changed the laws, and they were like, okay,
overnight because it's
overnight.
such a tiny country.
Yeah, it's Reykjavik and that's it, pretty
Yeah.
much. So,
Well,
yeah.
Pretty much.
I was in a place called Isafjörður,
Okay.
which is on like the northwest tip, and then got on.
so
about,
how do you get there?
So you fly from here to Reykjavik.
Yeah.
From Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
See, I'm
Reykjavik.
fucking Icelandish, baby. I know how to pronounce these words.
Reykjavik.
And and it's actually a great way if you ever want to travel to anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
The best way to go is through Iceland. That's how they pride
yeah.
themselves on having really value
Icelandic air.
flight.
Right.
Yeah.
WoW just got shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
It's the Icelandic airline.
Oh.
Just didn't make enough money.
Well, take air Icelandic Air, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's not
So
WoW.
it's now way more
Well, there's
expensive to
two.
go to Iceland
Is
now.
it two?
Is it?
Yeah,
I paid
because WoW went down.
$600 to go first class to Iceland,
It's
and then
gonna be way more
$50
now.
to go
It'll
from
be
there
a
to
It's getting
anywhere
way
in
more
Europe.
now
more
because
now.
there's no competition for Air
No,
Canada and Icelandic
it has
Air.
nothing to do with the competition.
It does because WoW was super cheap to go to Iceland.
It doesn't matter.
WoW
Yeah.
was the cheapest
Guys,
way to
just,
fly to Europe.
would you let me fucking finish? Jesus, you guys.
I know they're really dependent on the
It,
tourism.
it has
yeah.
nothing to do with that. The reason they had it at such low cost, that's how they pride themselves on tourism. Watch their commercials.
Yeah.
Right.
Your
If you-
cheapest way into Europe, come through Iceland.
Absolutely, and right now,
It's not going to change.
right now because of what happened with WoW, if you the news out of Iceland now is their tourism industry is gone. It's taken a huge hit.
Okay, watch. There's nothing going to change to Icelandic Air. Look.
I'm reading about it right now.
Okay, go look at it's. Go look at.
But yeah, there's probably going to be
it's
somebody
the
that
same
picks up the
flights.
slack, right? It's
Anyway,
like
the bottom line is Iceland, when it comes to cannabis, was still on like the totem pole of if you use cannabis, you're going to die because it's going to lead you to heroin, and that's the bottom
Yeah.
line.
Do you think it would, if the doctors there pushed for it more, they would be receptive to it? Like, is it that kind of thing, or what? You know,
Like it's so hard to say really because
like how
I'm
does it
not even-
change? You know,
yeah, how does it change? Yeah, I think we've been asking that question for like 3 decades,
That's true,
like
yeah.
10 decades, but the last 2 decades, particularly here,
Hey, look, I can see myself on the TV.
Hey,
Hey,
Al. He finally figured it out. He got so happy. So, can you hear us, Al? So,
Yeah, I'm just on my phone with it.
the question was, and you can answer the questions on there then too. If you see people asking questions, you can ask me.
yeah.
So the question was, how does a country change?
Yeah.
How
Change
does a country-
culturally too,
yeah.
right? It's not
How
just
does the paradigm change
Yeah.
in a
How does the
country? Because
mentality shift, yeah.
it's is it government? It's definitely there are some countries now that are top down government making the change. Like the U.S., if anything changes, it's like federally, it's the government that's going to make that
Yeah.
change. Culturally, they've been there. Everybody's
Yeah.
been there culturally for so
They've been
long.
there for
but
like
until you
long
have
time.
big players that want to make a change, it won't change. And you know what that comes down to? A business case.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like the same thing. Like the housewives have to adopt it, right? They have to be okay with it because everything, like unless you get certain demographics okay with it culturally, that's not going to change, even if everything else does.
Yeah. How does medicine change is the question. Like I remember a decade ago when I was just starting out doing this, or not even, just, 2011, 2011, and they were all laughing. The physicians didn't even want to hear it. There was,
Yeah.
I'd go out and give lectures and they, and you'd get laughed at. But the truth is, I don't know if you saw my post today, because back then though we had a mission.
Yeah.
It was like, we have something to do.
Yeah.
And
That-
it was a lot of fun going out educating, and we were really passionate
Because
about
you
it.
feel like rebellious towards it, right?
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
just
yeah.
we're doing something we believe in that other people don't, and I don't know, it was that restless soul like spirit kind
Yeah.
of mentality.
Hey, you're young,
And-
man. You want to change the world.
Yeah, totally. And well, I mean, I wasn't that young, but I appreciate that. And I mean, I'm still young and restless. Are you looking at a flight to? Are you planning on going?
I've wanted to go to
I'm
Iceland
planning-
for a
It's
long
awesome.
time,
I
but
I'd
love
say in the
Iceland.
next year for sure. I'm going.
plan not to do it because WoW shut down.
Well, no, go through Icelandic Air. That's how I
Looking
flew.
right now.
It's a way better way to. It was a great way to fly. Anyway, so
Oops.
over time, did physicians change because of that? I think they did, but I think
Because of people like you going out and doing it.
Yeah,
And
you need a figure that's willing to put their ass on the line.
Yeah. And has
no
and
matter
can
what.
talk from a place
And-
of authority and
right.
is respected, right? That's the
Yeah.
hard part. Is that
It's hard to find somebody like that who's willing to.
take the arrows?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, because they're gonna come after you no matter what, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
And the only people that can really we were lucky in Canada, even though we didn't have clinicians. We had like one or two, but we didn't really have clinicians doing it until I came around. But what we did have was researchers.
Right.
And
yeah.
so we had guys like Mark Ware, Mary Lynch, Fiona Campbell. And if you
then they
guys
can advocate for it,
if
which
you
is
want to
huge,
see
right?
some really awesome research, you go look at people like Fiona Campbell and Mary Lynch, and you look at Mark Ware. You look at those people, what they've been doing for 2 decades in our country.
Yep.
So they laid the groundwork for this to happen globally. Really, they may not have been clinically working with cannabis very much, but they gave me a foundation to be able to go out and say, this is why I'm doing it, even though the arrows all came at me, not to the researchers, because I was
Right.
working with humans, and they were working.
Yeah, you're
like,
the end user
right.
kind of,
and I was doing on a
experience,
large scale. I wasn't shy about it,
Right.
but at least I had precedence to do it. Other countries don't really have a precedence to do
Right.
it necessarily. Now they have a lot of our research, which, by the way, since legalization has been fucking impossible.
And that was part of
Yeah.
that was one of the articles that
Was
I
it?
posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
is that like this how much it's stifled
I'll tell you what's
research.
happened to our research, but
It's really sad because, like you said, we were the leaders in it for so long, and it's just government just
the the government has screwed us. So screwed research. So since initially cannabis fell under the Narcotics Act, right? The regulations of the Controlled Substance Act,
Right.
which made it a level 2, and it was a level 2 banned substance.
Which is what? It
Which
has medical
means
benefits.
It has medical
yeah.
benefits, but it's still illegal. It's right
Okay.
up there with morphine and all the other things.
Okay. And in the States, it was like
Your pizza's here, buddy.
and in the States, it was like no medical relevancy whatsoever.
We're not taking a break. I'm still going. So we were during that time. It makes research really easy, because not really easy, but it follows a paradigm in the same way that
And
you would
know the rules. You know what
right.
to
You would
follow,
the
right.
same way you would study a narcotic or any substance that's a level 2 substance.
And there's
You
well
just-
established.
That's right.
Yeah.
You just have to go through. You go through the Health Canada's pharmaceutical directorate,
And then
You fill
even the
out-
people at Health Canada would be well versed in the
That's right.
process too,
and they
right?
know
So,
what
yeah.
they're doing. You didn't need any special other licenses. Now,
Yeah.
since the Cannabis Act, not only do you need to go through the same Health Canada directorate for pharmaceuticals and clinical trials and all that stuff, but now the holdup, the bottleneck is at this special other license called a research license for cannabis.
Right.
Every time you do research now in Canada, you have to get this license. There are approximately 230 applications for clinical trials that are with cannabis that are sitting on some desk. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's bottlenecked and they can't get to them.
Yeah.
Because one, they don't know what they're doing. Like it's just new to them.
They're not trained well. They're
right.
at
It's a whole new area since this Cannabis Act.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's put a big, massive hinder on the way.
Given that how time sensitive it is, because if they don't do it, somebody else is going to do it, and then what? Then we lose out on a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're a researcher and they're stopping it, then you're going to leave, right?
Oh yeah.
At
I
some
mean,
point.
one of the biggest problems is for me. He's already eaten slices of pizza over there. He was going down.
Can you bring me one? Can you bring me one?
Do you want to
Can you bring me
some
one?
pizza to people or what's the story?
S'il
Here,
vous
take a
plaît.
plate. There's some plates here.
I'm just going to bring the whole box.
You're gonna bring the whole box? Well, I mean, it does for me. So I have a research company that
I think it
that
does for everybody.
researches. Yeah, for all
We all
researchers
lose
though.
out. Even the people, end user loses out too, right?
So like people that, yeah, of course. So I guess everybody suffers from it.
everybody,
Yeah,
top
that's a
down,
good
man.
point.
Yeah.
It's a really good point. Everybody's going to suffer from the lack of research that we're able to do right now. I know people that are trying to, for example, I have a clinical trial that's just about to start. We just put into publish our manuscript on the cannabis for opioid
Opioids,
substitution.
yeah.
That was
That's a big one.
The observational study.
Okay.
That's where you remember when we look at trials, we can either blind people or we can look at them over time.
Yeah.
We looked at 1,200 patients over time to see if they were reducing their opioids using cannabis. You still didn't bring him a slice of pizza.
It's okay. I got it.
Dude, no, he can't get out of there.
Kind of boxed in. Yeah.
Just give him a piece of pizza.
As I'm just
Jeez.
boxed in because the HDMI came over.
Oh. I see that.
Thank you, Tyler. Cheers.
So what was I talking about? Oh,
About
right. So the
research.
observational. So the observational trial. So we looked at 1,200 patients over a period of time to see how many people were able to decrease their opioids, if they were or not. At the end of the day, 85% of the patients enrolled in this
Crazy.
trial had decreased their opioid use. Almost 60% of them were off of them 100%.
That's nuts.
Nuts. And then we had people like down to 25%, etc. We were looking at like 90% of people who had decreased their opioids of that 85%.
And I got to see firsthand people going through that, and everyone who was doing was happy to do the survey because they were having good results.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so much of a life changer for so many people.
Right.
It's like,
So now we got to put that into an actual clinical study, and we actually have to randomize the people and blind them and give them, even though blinding is tough with cannabis, but we'll do like a similar, or we'll do a cannabis, we'll do a whole bunch of arms. But in the meantime, where's my holdup now? My holdup's with Health Canada because of this new Cannabis Act.
and that's people's lives. I mean, that's what, we
Mm-hmm.
forget to, talk about it that way, but it is real people and real lives that are suffering because of government slowing down and just not being well prepared and not caring enough.
You
One
know
of-
what?
Yep.
We see 20
Keep
20
your
some odd people every week
IG
on Hope, at Hope, just on the corner.
shut off, sorry.
No trials, just come and get a pack, and I hope it helps. but when they come and talk to us, they're very appreciative. I mean, people are walking miles just to come and get a couple of doobies and a cookie, you know,
Yeah.
to get one day of relief.
Yeah, I mean it's been really difficult. It's been really I guess you're right. You have a point. I mean, I still come at it when I'm in clinic. I come at it from a
Hard
a,
facts
a
and
well, no, in
percentage.
clinic I come at it from a human perspective.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm dealing with people every single day. But when I'm talking about about the research that we do,
Yeah.
I'm dissociating it
You have
from
to
the
be to do it
human so
well,
that I
right?
can
Yeah.
do it. But at
You have
the
to
end
be
of the
objective.
day, I mean, the reason I'm doing this research is so that we can change the way we practice medicine and use cannabis in a way.
That's the driving force behind it, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and that's the end user at the end of the day. So really, the end user is the one being harmed in this whole process. So I think maybe one of the the things we can do, and for people that listen to this, get out there and start making some noise. We're looking for things to make noise about right now. We
Call
got
your local
legalization.
Have you
representative.
seen what Cafe's been doing in Toronto?
About research.
Not research, but as in making noise of how
Okay,
crappy our
that's
system is.
that's a little different.
Well, it shows
Yeah.
how shitty our
are they
system
doing?
is implanted by the government.
We make noise every Thursday at the corner of Ferguson and King in Hamilton, doing Hope. So
Yeah,
They're
we-
still running all their stores. You just walk up and buy weed out front of them.
It's weird.
yeah,
I don't get
they've been
that.
Ticketing people this
Yeah,
week,
they've
too.
ticketed
They're going
18
after them.
people so far, but
I don't-
CAF will have lawyers with those people paid for.
I don't
all done. It's
understand
totally
though.
fine.
What I don't understand how they can just get away with that.
Because it's just street dealing. You're just standing there selling weed on the street corner. You'll get a trafficking ticket, like set for trafficking narcotics.
No, but they made the law like you go to prison for a long time now if you.
If you sell to
It's not
minors.
trafficking anymore. Though.
Oh,
It's
that's the
Yeah,
what they're doing?
it's-
intent to distribute.
Yeah, you'll go to jail for like 5 years if you do traffic or intent to a minor. To a regular citizen, it's not nearly as bad.
So what is it?
Okay, yeah.
I don't
don't
know
remember
the
that.
exact precautions about it.
We looked it up. We looked at the fines and stuff like that for doing what we're doing with Hope, standing on the street corner and talking to people and helping them that way. It's a $200 and some odd fine.
There you go.
But you're
Really?
they're not
Do you
selling
get
it, they're
do you
giving
get a
you-
record for that?
Yeah.
We're gifting.
You're-
No,
are you-
we're gifting.
You're
They're
gifting,
gifting.
that's the difference.
Oh, they're
bro.
gifting.
As
Are we gonna start? Fuck! If we're gonna start selling weed outside our door over here, like
It's a lot easier for the authorities to justify when you're profiting, right? That's always
right.
the thing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're doing it for a really good cause, Al. And for anybody that doesn't know, Hope is. Why don't you tell everybody what Hope
So-
is?
There's one thing
Hold on.
also.
Hamilton Opiate Prevention Experiment, run by myself and Paula Huey at Gungeonistas, and it's something we have continued doing, even though our doors of the lounge are closed. And myself and Paula and John and Kelly and Puff Dog, we're all out there on the corner. Sometimes the girls come by that work for us and hang out as well. But we've got different types of people. We've got people that are living down in the ravine. Everybody knows where they are. We've got vets that are in the bush that won't come out. That
Really?
help. Yeah, literally, they will not come out of the bush. They send other friends out to come and get hope packs from us.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to get down there to meet some of these guys. They want to talk to us, so we're hoping that we can maybe establish some kind of a way to help our vets make sure, homeless or not, that they're getting their meds as well.
Are you serious? So we have veterans that are living. I thought we had
There's a
I didn't know there.
community in the
I know
forest
there is a community there, but I didn't know that they don't come out.
They very rarely come out unless they're going to the food bank or going to get food or shopping. Otherwise, they're down there, and it's a huge community. We have one here in Toronto down at the docks, down
Yeah.
by Cherry Beach,
Yeah.
Commissioner. And they pull up campers at night. I mean, you go down there during the day, and there's a lot of boxes and tents and stuff like that. You go down there at night, and there's like campers all along the road, and cars, people, and bonfires going, and community.
Really? So what? So how? Tell me about the success of Hope. And what is the ultimate goal that you want to get? I mean, clearly you're helping so many people by by having them out there. Like, what's the by going out there?
Our ultimate goal as a starter is to give somebody who's having issues with opiates or addiction, who needs one day where they can just kick back and go, because that's a starting point.
Are you seeing people coming off of opioids using cannabis through Hope?
Yeah, we've got a couple of patients that have come in who usually leave in tears because they're just so happy, because we've got one guy that's down probably maybe a quarter what he was doing.
Really?
As far as the opiates goes, he got bad back problems, can hardly walk sometimes, and I've chosen to just stay home and suffer in silence as opposed to jump in a bottle.
Right, of course.
That's how I've chosen to do it. But some people don't have that choice.
Well,
So
I mean, everybody has choice. I don't agree with that. I think when it comes to opioid, I think when it comes to any addiction, initially the nidus of the addiction was a choice. After the onset of the addiction, now it's an addiction, and you have to make a choice to stop that. And to do that is a complicated process, but
It's partly free will.
and it requires family, friends, community, yourself, mostly yourself. But still, if you, as much as you want to, like, I'm okay right now not eating this pizza because I have something else that's preoccupying my time right now, which is podcasting. But I guarantee you that if this podcast wasn't happening and that pizza was here, I'd either have to leave or I'd be eating
It's a
it.
matter of time, yeah.
Right?
Please save him a slice.
Yeah. But I think
We'll see.
friends and family's a big part of it as well, right? And it's like that can tip the scales completely
You know,
sometimes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Ira. And this is pertaining to the whole thing. I've spent the last 25 years hiding in my apartment, not being able to go out because of my fears, my PTSD, and a lot to do with my weight.
Right.
Okay, and my mobility. I'm on my way down. I'm hovering around 320, 350 now, but I'm on my way down to over 500 pounds. I'm
Right.
not proud of that. But I am proud of the fact that I am literally half the man I used to be.
Right. You know what I'm proud of for you, Al? And I'll be honest with you, because I have people in my own family that suffer from weight and diabetes, or from lymphedema, all this stuff. You get out of your house, you move around, you do all those things, and you don't let it inhibit you.
I do now.
So what did you do to get there?
A lot of cannabis, honestly.
Really?
A lot of cannabis helps me get out the door. I get into a mindset where I have to do these things, and then, as you know, the ADHD with the menial tasks, it just kind of doesn't happen. But you give me a task like helping somebody or giving somebody information, and I'm there. You know that.
Of course I know that. But I mean, for me, it's, there are people out there. I know we're still talking about opioids, but actually you brought up a great point. You're literally half the man you used to be, and you also walk out the door and you do stuff, and you're active. Yeah, you try to, but I know you say that. See, that's weird, because in my mind, I don't think you try, you do. It's still a mindset. It's still the mindset of.
In all honesty, I still spend a lot of time very depressed on the couch, but cannabis, the help of cannabis and psilocybin, woohoo, bye depression.
Right, but how?
But I'd say the root cause is still almost not being addressed sometimes because
Right.
of that, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I fear about these kind of things.
And you're exactly that. That's exactly true. That's a very big hurdle for a lot of people to get over that.
I think it's the biggest one for a lot of people. Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you try to work on nutrition? Do you try to work on exercise? I mean, where does it start? Do you need the family and the friends, the support? I feel like you have the support all around. It's not just you. This is for everybody out there.
Where I have major support is at Gunjanistas.
Yeah.
Paula and John and Vicky and Meg.
Yeah.
And Kelly and like my friends, my family.
Right.
Even though I really struggle with depression and agoraphobic and
Right.
all of that shit. And even though my my sister lives 2 doors above me. Sometimes I'm locked in my apartment. I can't go out. It depends on what's going on. It depends if the mood disorders kicking in.
So how does cannabis help?
You know,
What does cannabis? How does cannabis help you?
it allows me to be more mobile,
Yeah.
and it also calms me down to the point where my head, as you know, with ADHD, the minute you wake up, your head starts.
Yeah. Yeah, my head's like that all day long.
Now, and Ritalin or Dexedrine will calm that down. It gives
Right.
you a slower pattern of thinking.
Yeah.
Cannabis will do the same thing. Okay?
Right.
As far as the right strain will do the strain. Let me
Right.
rephrase
I
it.
think that's really important to know about cannabis. Is every strain is different for people. We've been recently getting a lot of questions. I know you wanted to say something before. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what
it
did
was
you want to say?
about the cafe conversation? It's not just kids and people buying there. A lot of senior citizens go there because
Yes.
if you buy medical cannabis and your life insurance company finds out, they can jack up the cost of your life insurance.
Is
So
that-
a lot
is
of
that a
that's
true
why
story?
a lot of people don't go to medical cannabis.
That makes sense.
It's
But
very
there is
true.
a good thing now happening. There is an insurance company that I don't know the name of it, out in Vancouver. And there's one here in Toronto, and they are doing policies revolving around cannabis. Life. What do they call them?
Life insurance policy, life insurance policy.
Life insurance and things like that. But also they're doing home insurance
Mm-hmm.
as well as you can insure your grow now if you are a,
Oh.
a
Yep,
legal grower.
legal growers can insure your grow.
Illegal growers?
Legal growers
Oh.
can insure their grow.
So your tents, how are they? You
I'm not insured at all, but I could be if I wanted to be.
You could. You have a grow. Interesting. I didn't know that there was insurance companies that are doing that. That makes sense. You know, I remember back.
Hey, look, I could have Scott come on the show. We can talk about it sometime.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, I'll tell you, 5 years ago, or not even 5 years ago. How long has Synergy Burlington been open for?
2, 3.
Three years ago, I opened Synergy. 3 years ago, May, or 2 years ago, May even. 2016, 17, 18, or 17. When I don't know. Anyway,
2 years.
it was 2 years ago, May. I couldn't find anybody except one company, which was it Steve Wernicke? I think that was the guy. If you need an insurance guy around cannabis, Steve is a good guy. I wonder if it's the same Steve that you know. Anyway,
Well,
I-
I'll tell you, I know that there are a lot of underwriters in Canada and
Now.
the US now.
Okay, now.
Working with Lloyd's London.
right. So that's now. But I'm just saying, 2 years ago when I opened Synergy, I couldn't find a single damn insurer to cover even like liability insurance
Yeah.
in the
Like the
clinic,
most basic of
in our clinic. Not because, and I don't even sell cannabis. We're really just a medical clinic that works natural pain and wellness. We don't even just do cannabis. There's other things that happen in Burlington. I couldn't find anybody except for one company to do it. Actually, I found two. One company wanted $25,000 a year for coverage.
sure, we'll
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. Of course, we'll do it for half your arm and leg. And then there was one reasonable company. Now, 2 years later, it seems like everybody's getting into the game. I don't know,
Well, they have to adapt with the times.
but I just don't understand how these guys in Toronto are just opened outside. Like they just
Because
don't,
they don't care about the fine.
right.
That's
because
all it
who
comes-
would care
they
about the
don't
fine?
care.
Then it's gonna be
But
If you're
don't
gonna
you
get
think-
if you're gonna get a fine,
So-
that's even all your
let me-
employees get $1,000 fine, and that day you make 80 grand.
Right.
Who
But
gives
here's
an F.
It's like it's,
Right.
it's the tax.
Have they even established a tie between the cafe owners?
Yeah, they wrote an article about it today. They wrote an
Oh,
article
they did?
about
Which
it.
article?
It's right on the Growth Hub.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Where-
and
where
it has
is
a
it?
lot of testimonials actually from
Which
people
doc
buying.
is it? Cannabis. Oh, no, that's reasons why research, U.S. bankers. I didn't see that one.
Oh,
Go to the Growth Hub.
sorry.
It's cool.
Go to the very bottom.
I thought that was.
It was posted earlier.
it's a
today,
different
so-
Growth Hub.
Okay, go up.
We're looking for an article, people.
Despite arrest, Senators blocks illegal Toronto dispensary still selling.
Oh, wow.
That's the article right
All right.
there.
So here's my question, though. Here's my question to people. And I think this is one of the reasons why these places are able to stay open. The owners never get in trouble. Who are the people getting
The
arrested?
task force, they started
They're-
to do that though, right? They started to lock up the buildings and
They're locking up the buildings, but they're not taking down the people that own
I
it.
know, but
they're taking
slowing
down.
They're making them not able to like release
Still
it.
not my point.
Yeah, I know
My
what you
point is, the people that are getting in trouble are the people that are working in the stores.
So think of it as a cartel.
Right. So
How
right,
long did it take them to bust El Chapo?
Right.
Friggin'
Okay,
30 years.
I get it. So
the
this,
guy that never touches it, it's hard to arrest him.
Okay, so but here's the point though. This is the cannabis industry we're talking about here. We're talking about people that were supposed to be working out of compassion and that walk all these dispensaries, walk around and say how compassionate they are and how they're trying to help patients.
Come on.
Right. So and what they're really doing is exploiting their employees
Of course.
to take the downfall for
it's
them.
the dark-
Nice,
you could say the
innocent
same thing
people.
about LPs. They exploit the price. They charge more for something because they're doing it illegally and they're
Good.
exploiting their patients.
So I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes, they certain.
They also typically these situations also take care of their employees very well. Usually.
Yeah. I
Aside-
feel way more. Anything I've done in the past compared to working for an LP, I felt way more exploited working for an LP. They're using my knowledge, paying me jack shit,
Yeah.
paying a lot of people that knew nothing a lot more money because they had a horticultural degree, all kinds of bullshit, bringing in illegal toxic products, telling us to work with them without hazmat suits. Friends that had respiratory issues with it after that they were told to keep quiet by the LP.
Right, so do
holds sulfuric acid eating through their boots and scarring them
Okay,
for
so
life. LPs are fucking terrible.
Right. So hold on a second. Is there a ramification for an LP who runs a business if that happens? There is. You call labor. You call the labor board, and the labor board will take care of that.
And you
I
can see the
tried
hands off
with-
them.
And you
Peace.
right. That's so you can do those things. You may lose your job, of course. Now I'm not saying exploitation doesn't happen, but you have recourse. You have somebody there that's doing the best they possibly can. At least they think they're doing following a law
I think-
where you're not going to be arrested and you're going sure you may be exploited in the sense of work, but they're still following the government law of minimum wage, whatever the hell that is. Right, which means that the government doesn't believe you're being exploited. You probably still are. I mean,
Definitely
it's
are.
not a
Well,
living wage. It's not a living wage. I don't
say-
disagree. It's not a living wage, but you do have recourse. You get if I pay you another extra $10. So or $5 an hour because I'm going to dangle this fucking
But I
kombucha
don't-
in front of
if
you.
you don't feel
by
like,
the way, you're
so,
going to.
I don't feel like if I were to take one of those trips, I don't feel like anyone's dangling anything in front of me.
But
I
that's
know
because
the
you
risk.
don't know the
I,
risk. No,
yeah,
you
I
don't
know
really
the-
identify the risk.
You're not.
If
don't.
you're taking a legal job without thinking you can get arrested, you're a freaking
I know,
idiot.
But
hold on.
no,
It's
you're
because
not. People
friends
don't
are-
know. People don't
People
know.
do
they're not
know.
fully aware
They're
of-
not
they're
aware.
not fully
You're
aware
wrong.
of
You're
what
aware
that
because
means.
you're an industry
Yeah.
insider.
So my
If
friends
you have the
have
know-how
jobs
to
like that.
actually apply,
go back to your
hold on,
Instagram?
Yeah.
to apply and work
Put that,
at an illegal
Instagram back
dispensary.
on.
Yeah.
If you have the know-how to apply to an illegal job and work there,
Yeah.
Get your phone
But
back.
you-
I want
but,
to see all
okay,
the
like,
fighting
I have to,
comments.
like my friends that took jobs there, they were not thinking because I would ask them. I was like, "Do you know what it means if you get arrested? What happens?" To
Here,
you?"
we
He's
could
like,
share my
oh, well, yeah,
computer.
like I'll get a fine. I might get some jail time. Like you'll never get a passport again. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to apply for this.
That's all
a whole bunch of stuff.
You can't
I've been
go to
arrested.
you can't travel.
So-
I do travel all the time, and
I
I,
know,
have
but you
warrants
wouldn't-
still in that country, live
Well,
warrants.
okay,
I
but
still
that's
travel
not
there all the
good.
fucking time.
Hey, but
that's
you
not
could
good.
Get some major shit that way too.
I just
though.
don't pay parking tickets. They give me fucking warrants.
Okay, parking tickets is one thing. Trafficking narcotics.
Well,
is
also I
another
have
thing.
failure to appear in court and
Okay, but that doesn't make it good, dude.
But that's a way different
That's-
classification.
But I know my risk. I'm not naive to it. I pay the punishment if I do.
Okay,
No,
but you're
most people are more naive
most people
than you
don't
are.
know that.
Most
You
people
you
are
have
more
to
naive.
really understand. People don't know that.
When I got all those parking tickets, new.
You know what it's like? Let me
People
give
are
you an example. If you came to me with some weird disease that I knew about, okay, and I'd be like, it's just that, don't worry about it. But you think you're dying. You're gonna go to and you're in the hospital, doc, I'm dying, and I'm laughing at you because you knew.
I'm
you,
just gonna go to a different doctor.
Okay, but you can't. But my point is, for me, it's so simple. For you, it's not because you don't have the knowledge. right? So the point, it's the same. You go to a different doctor, they give you the same answer, and they're going to say, yeah, that's what it is. And you still think you're dying, but that's because you just don't have the knowledge to know. So a lot of people that come into this industry don't have that knowledge that person does. If somebody whose plant is dying,
Do you know what you have to do to apply at an illegal dispensary?
I know,
but-
but Tyler, for
It's not like you
instance,
go
a
on
lot of-
Indeed and find it.
No, but a lot of my friends that
Like,
started
you
working
actually
there,
have to
they got in
seek it
because
out
of their
and look
friends,
for
too.
it.
They didn't
You
even
don't have to-
apply for the job, man.
Exactly.
You know, that's the
you
other side
don't
of
get it. Like the people, Joe Blow, who knows nothing about cannabis, can't go
I
get a job
know
at
a
those
ton
places.
of people that had no idea what they were getting into and
Yeah.
got into a lot of shit.
They suck.
Because no, they don't suck.
No.
They don't know. They just want to help
She's
people.
just very naive.
They
yeah.
just
don't-
want to help people.
I still
they
don't
feel
get
like
that.
they're doing compassionate work.
Yeah.
But
They
it's
feel like
illegal. You always know it's illegal.
No, you don't though.
It's
because
illegal.
it's a storefront.
Yeah.
They don't even know it's
Yeah.
illegal.
The whole news says it's illegal.
but the
whole
news,
time.
okay,
The
so the
news
news
was
is real.
confused at the
The
time,
news
too.
had no idea.
The news is also saying
It
it's
was
illegal.
conflicting
It's
and-
very, very,
Yeah, I know, but it was
very obvious that they were
conflicting.
illegal.
And you, if you're around a group of people that's working there, all your friends are working there, you're in a bubble of reality too, right? You're not getting information from all the different sides.
I just keep
objectively,
going
you know?
back to that. Fuck it, I'm out of here. Oh, that was
But
awesome.
I think that yeah, it is unfortunate because like I said, I have friends that are kind of fucked now, and
Yeah, I think
they're
so
just
too.
really naive about it. They got the job because their friend
Right.
was there. Just
And if they want to leave, you can leave, but now you have a record.
yeah.
So it sucks.
And if they get fined, they don't have a right. It's only if you get
Okay.
arrested and convicted.
Sure, I agree.
None of them
It's a
are
big-ass
convicted yet.
hassle,
And
though.
like we said earlier, all those places will pay your fucking lawyer fees.
Okay, most of them will, I'm sure, but I'm sure there are some that don't.
I'm not sure now that they've all closed up shop. That good luck. trying
If
to
you
actually
read this
collect on that.
article, it says that the owner is fully in back of all of his employees.
Okay, that's great. Who still can't travel to the U.S. or to wherever. Not
they
that anybody really
can
wants to
until
go.
they're convicted. If they don't get convicted, they still can.
Okay.
And then after that, you just need a
It's-
pardon.
I don't know. Is that true? They can deny you entry into the states even
Only if
without
you have.
conviction?
No, you have to be
no,
convicted.
No, you don't. No,
Unless
fuck
it's
no,
a
you don't.
crime in the U.S.
No.
it doesn't matter. They're allowed to. They're allowed to say no regardless and not.
They
give
could
you a
say
reason.
They
No
can say
for
no
anything.
for anything,
Yeah.
any
That's right.
reason,
And
but
they know that there's an open investigation. We share that information with them, so they would know.
only bordering states.
No.
Only
That's-
bordering states. I know that for a fact because all my warrants are in non-bordering states, and they can't search them up.
I know, but the border agents. Do
I
have
know that
access
for
to-
fact.
They do have. I know, but there's databases, right, of open shared information.
So,
that the border.
When I
agents
cross the
do have
border
access
in
to.
Michigan,
Yeah.
what the border officer can look at is any convictions in a state that borders Mexico, any convictions in a state that borders Canada. He can't look in Missouri that doesn't border any country,
You're talking
where
about-
all my
You're
warrants
talking about-
are.
Talking about
You're
the guy
about- that's
sitting
the-
there, right?
You're talking
I'm
also about a
So
U.S.
you're also
guy.
talking to a guy
What
who
about
gets
Cana-
pulled in every single
Okay, but what
time.
about a Canadian? You have American convictions, not Canadian convictions.
I have Canadian convictions as a minor, lots.
Okay, dude, I don't want to know. I don't want to know any of this
That's
shit.
why you don't know
Hey,
that,
everybody, and Tyler.
You want to find out a lot about me?
Yeah, just
find out a lot.
be a border police.
But those are all
what
sealed
were your
records, though, yeah?
convictions?
I don't want to say.
Okay, it's probably a good idea.
Probably. I probably won't work here after.
Okay, that's fair. That's awesome. So
Not really awesome.
no,
I
but
did some stupid things as a kid.
yeah, shit
a
happens.
lot.
Yeah, shit
we all
happens.
have
Listen, everybody does stupid things.
different degrees.
Okay, but the bottom line is you're getting exploited if you're working for an illegal
I think you're getting
dispensary.
exploited
No
if you
matter
just
what.
work in
You
general.
are.
They're
I-
getting
of
You're
course.
always getting
That's what I was
exploited.
gonna
Okay.
say. I
As
think
to
you
what
guys are
extent?
both arguing who gets exploited more, and it's,
Right.
But
That's
they're
fair.
both getting exploited. To a
Yeah,
certain degree.
you're right. Okay.
I wish I like working in an LPI. It was the worst experience ever.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah. But there's got to be LPs that are good to work for, no?
yeah.
I
There are
have-
people that have really good.
I've never heard a good story of someone working in an LP.
Do you think over
honestly.
time that'll change?
I
just
have.
Because of standards.
I
they'll
mean,
get,
people
like-
that work for.
The only good thing I've heard from CanTrust employees
Oh.
is that now all these people have quit and we can move up faster.
Okay.
Like it,
So that's the.
But
whole
even
goal is
people
up-
at places like Supreme, they love working there.
Metrum, when Metrum was open, I knew a ton
Okay,
of people.
let's not talk about names. Let's not say names.
Well,
'cause-
Metrum doesn't even exist anymore.
right, fair.
So-
well, it was bought by Canopy.
Well,
But so I guess
It
it
still
doesn't,
doesn't
exist.
exist.
Yeah, fair. But a point being, there are places that really treat their employees well, and then there are places that definitely exploit them in
Mm-hmm.
terms of how much they're paying them. Whether I don't think minimum wage. Unless you're living there and they're paying your room, board, food, and all your other stuff, minimum wage I think is kind of silly.
You can't in Hamilton. I don't think you can afford afford to live.
You
on minimum
17.
wage.
I think $16.50 or $17 is like a
I just
living.
read an article about it that you need to make.
You
X
can't live
amount.
off $17 an hour.
Yeah, not
If
really.
you
But
can't,
not
man.
not living downtown. If you live in the East End, maybe. Then,
Yeah.
You got to pay rent. Rent's $1,000 a month. You got to live, groceries, another $1,000 a month. That's your whole paycheck gone.
Yeah.
You're making $2,000 like every 4 weeks like that. It's nothing.
Yeah.
You're making
Yeah,
nothing.
minimum wage is what, $2,000 every 2 weeks?
No, but
No,
17
God,
bucks
no.
isn't.
No, before
Every
taxes.
2 weeks, making like $50K a year, you make $1,600 after taxes. Every
Yeah.
2 weeks, you make nothing
Okay, yeah,
making
yeah.
$17 an hour. You make
That's true.
dirt,
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair.
that's sad.
and all of our prices of stuff is going up.
Yeah, well,
Thanks,
inflation is
government.
what it is, yeah.
Right. Well, that was a fun, heated discussion. Hey, Al, how you feeling over there? That was awesome. So that was fun. So everybody's getting exploited.
Everyone is. The only place you don't get exploited working is at Synergy.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. You just exploit me on podcasts to get mad.
That was awesome. That'll go on TMZ hopefully.
That moment when.
I thought you were gonna explode. Your neck was
Oh,
like.
dude, I can totally tell.
Yeah, if I get that was about phase 2. Get to phase 3.
Dude, I can tell that Tyler is a
I-
fun
I
hockey
don't-
player to play against.
I initially thought you were just kidding.
No, I was
And then,
mad. I was really mad.
Then you went.
So when I get
Getting
mad,
ready.
what I do is I went through a lot of anger management. I leave the situation.
Like that when if
I have to.
get up and I leave as well.
There have been
Yeah.
times with people in the car, I'll stop the car and get out of the car and walk away and just leave the car there.
Wow, I guess
I
that's
can't.
a real
It's better
thing.
than me doing something stupid.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Because I'm a big boy, and I've been a big boy since my 20s, I got very quickly to the point where a cop comes near me, I sit down.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to make any. I don't move. I'm just yes or no, sir. Can I go now?
I don't really
You
get
should
angry.
say officer. Yes, officer. No,
Are you gonna
officer.
get angry at the cop though?
They like officer more than sir or ma'am.
I just don't. I don't know.
Plus,
I
you
don't
never
really
make the
fight-
mistake
I
of
don't
calling
get- I
a
don't get
female
angry.
cop sir.
All right, let's.
You need to fix your Instagram.
Yeah, it just went off.
Oh, all right. You want to go press play? You know remember all the coding and stuff.
I'm the new Instagram.
I can't really tell you offhand right now. Okay, we good?
That's really cool.
All right, cool. You back on live?
Should come on. I'll tell you when it's back on.
All right, cool.
It doesn't seem to come up live on
gonna
the
be different
desktop app, but it does on my phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it's back. I got it.
Yeah, it's there now.
Are we back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm waving.
So, all right. Well, that was a good discussion on LP exploitation and dispensary exploitation.
Let's just come down to exploitation exists
it's also a matter of
everywhere.
It
perspective,
does.
too, because
It-
if we would be talking like that towards somebody that came from anywhere in Southeast Asia, they'd slap us across the face.
Right. And it's also a first world problem.
Yeah.
Although going to jail, I don't think is a first world problem.
that no.
I think
I
going
think
to jail is.
Jail's probably worse in first world countries. Like,
Oh fuck
Yeah.
no! Oh god,
Yeah?
dude, come on.
dude, you can walk in and out of jail in Mexico and just leave.
I don't know about that. Or they could
Look it
throw
up.
away the key.
Or yeah,
I don't
if
know.
you
Did
look
you ever
at-
watch Midnight Express? Remember that movie?
If you look
It's a
at some of
movie.
the African jails, like my god, man, it's
It's messed up, but a lot of
Yeah.
them are way easier to escape from, things like
oh
that.
yeah, for sure.
Like,
Well,
you get
it's
out.
not an industry, right? That's the
Yeah.
Over here, it's keep them in jail. We make money.
Yeah, but it's going to
It's
be a lot different now with legalization of cannabis. We're going to have a lot of less people in prisons, which hopefully, I hope. And
Do you
hopefully.
think that we're gonna get them pardoned? The people from Rio?
Did you just see that? There's places like in the U.S. that are even asking for expungement.
Yep.
Which I don't know if we got states in the U.S. that are
That would trigger it.
that are saying, this should be expunged. I don't see why we wouldn't. I think our next federal government will do it. I don't think the government we're under right now will do it. They have enough problems to deal with. But perhaps maybe the next government will. And
I think we'll
another
have the
thing
same.
that we need to make a stink about, like we still have that going. And, we've got people like Rina Ramprasad out there. And
Especially if we need growers that no need. people
right.
that
We
know
need,
that have
yeah.
knowledge, like,
I mean, we need to get
we
them
have
out of
them
prison.
just in jail right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, sooner or later, I mean, how crazy. Can you imagine sitting in prison right now? Well, I guess they're in prison, not in jail or whatever. Sitting in prison right now and seeing a legalized world and all you did was the same thing. Like, how crazy does that make you feel? Kind of make you feel a little shitty about
So
yourself.
when
It
you
would
practice
suck.
being a Zen meditation,
You got to practice a lot of meditation.
I'd be trying to break out.
Yeah, well, I can imagine.
Really?
Oh,
You seem so calm
no.
and-
Tyler, I thought Tyler was going to start flipping shit. And I was just going to sit back.
No.
Man,
Hulk
at least I
Won't
know I
break
can
anything.
get under his skin a little bit.
It's not hard to get under my skin.
Clearly. Jeez.
I have red
Um,
hair, man. It's
What's
fire.
that?
Fire
Yeah.
inside
I've
of
got
me.
kids, 3 kids with red hair.
So that's
Two?
got to be like something when you're playing hockey, everybody else on the team knows to yeah, we got to.
There's a reason why he likes. There's a reason why he likes fighting in hockey
Great way to relieve stress.
because he likes to relieve stress instead of going to a punching bag.
My parents would never buy me one.
Really?
Never allowed to have one. Always wanted one.
There's an argument for people like that though that martial arts is the best thing that they could possibly do.
I agree. Well, that's what Rory was saying when he was on here. People have a
Some
predisposition.
people just need martial arts in
Hey,
their life.
people like killing should become butchers.
I don't
know?
like killing things.
It's just what's that?
I don't like killing things.
No.
Fish, fine, chickens, all that shit, no problem. But
Yeah,
when
'cause
it comes
no
to
one cares
bigger
about
things-
them.
I grew out of it. I grew up with a gun in my hands hunting. Since I
I
started
can't kill
really young.
anything.
And over time,
Bugs.
and my dad's the same thing. We stopped hunting, not because
Yeah.
we don't like the meat or anything, just because after a while you don't want to.
It just got to play with your psyche a little
Your dogs
bit.
never brought home things and you've had to kill them?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You
What do
live
you
on a
mean?
ravine too. My dog will bring shit home half alive and you have to kill it.
Really?
Or he'll just
Oh.
kill it. But yeah.
Mice.
Not long
I
ago,
can,
it was
maybe if
4
a mouse
bunnies.
is. I couldn't even kill a mouse in the house. I would just run away.
Mice
kill-
I have no problem with.
I'd kill a bug.
Just-
Fish. I eat fish. As long as I don't have to
You
see
know what
it.
they do now for mouse traps? The sticky stuff?
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Body and put your hands in it. That's
Yeah,
weird.
it's weird. I'd rather kill a human than an animal, I think.
No, you
That's
wouldn't.
messed up.
That's
You
weird?
wouldn't.
That's
No, you
so
wouldn't.
messed up.
From my friends in the army that have actually done it before, they're like, trust me,
No.
you don't. No.
Well, I mean, I feel like at least a human has a chance to run away, a little bit.
Animals
If it was
run
like-
faster.
It's a fair
It's
fight.
how it stays
Animals
with
run
you,
fast.
though,
But yeah,
right? It's-
I mean, I've seen a lot of people. I'm a coroner, so I see a lot of death.
But knowing that you took
And
that life away
yeah,
is different.
Well, yeah, and
I hope it's different.
it is for sure. I mean, I guess that's kind of
And it
Yeah,
wouldn't if you
maybe I
if
take
you
that
ever
back.
killed somebody, it'd be accidental.
yeah,
It
that's
wouldn't
true.
be intentional.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a whole nother ball game.
Because that's
I
what
couldn't
messes
kill
with
anything.
Their psyche more than anything. It's the fact that who am I to do that? And
Yeah.
that plays with you, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. I think no, killing altogether sucks. I mean, as an emerge doc, I mean, I see a lot of people die under my hands, but it's not my fault.
Does
I
that
try.
change over time, like how you feel towards it, how
Yeah.
it affects you? Like how did it
Yeah.
affect you in the beginning?
Desensitized.
Yeah, that's why I left emerge.
No, yeah, but
'Cause-
how did it affect you in the beginning? Like what was the
Well, at
what
one.
are the phases of going through it?
Yeah, the first time you see someone like actually die, you kind of remember that moment that you're like, whoa, this is real, and you're just watching it because as in
Does it
medicine,
feel like a movie, like
yeah,
you're playing-
it's not real.
Yeah.
And is that how people die? They don't look like they're supposed to look when they die.
It's
and
never the way you think it's
yeah,
gonna be, right?
yeah.
When
Like
you're working, though, I used to work in Emerge at Toronto East General. I was security and emergency, and I mean, we did 12-hour shifts on the weekend, and you saw a lot of crap and a lot of blood and a
Yeah.
few bodies come through the door.
Yeah.
And it's one thing for a dead person to roll past you on a gurney, and it's another thing to have somebody die in your hands.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, I can't even count the amount of people that have probably died who were talking to me a minute earlier and then died. Even one, including my grandmother. I was on the night my grandmother came into the hospital, and I was the only doc on
Oh wow.
at York Central. Yeah, I remember all those things.
crazy.
So those things happen. Eventually, you learn how to. You have to. Right, but that's a problem.
Yeah,
You-
absolutely.
You become
Because it's a big part of being human.
Yeah,
is like those signals
is to
you're-
feel is to feel those things, and you should feel those
So
things.
because
You're
because
human, you should, yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
compartmentalize that, it compartmentalizes your relationships and how you feel. towards
Everything.
others. Yeah,
you
yeah.
you lose the
But
sensitivity.
it also becomes like a mechanic. You bring your car in.
Right.
He looks at it. He finds out what's wrong. He fixes it, you go home.
Right.
That doesn't always work out that way in real life.
Right.
But mechanics have seen cars die in front of them.
Yeah.
And
There's a difference.
Mechanics feel the same way.
I think there's a difference between like a whole family of people standing around somebody or their child standing around them, like, or a little kid that's standing around them that was just hit by a drunk driver. And, and you're working on them, for hours, and then, there's nothing you can do, and they're 7 years old. Those are all things that like play a factor. And then you put them into this little compartment, and then you just turn it off. You eventually learn how to turn anything off you need to turn off if you don't want to.
You turn it back on then.
Right. So that becomes the problem. I can turn off any emotion I need to turn off, and I just like that. But then, at some point, it all comes fucking flooding back in your face, and you're like, shit. One, I've lost my humanity, and that's why I left Emerge for a year, because there's a point where when you start seeing people die, and you're sitting there eating your breakfast, and you're not even on shift. On shift, if you got to eat and work, fine, because you got to compartmentalize so you can function.
Right.
But when that shift's over, before that shift, you've got to somehow still know how to feel, and you sort of lose that innate ability to do those things. No, we lose our ability to do that. So I stopped caring. So I had to leave altogether. And now I've regained humanity. I think
because I
a little bit.
To a lot of tech podcasts, and there's one with Kara Swisher who she was talking to a CTO of a medical device company, and they were talking about how in the future, not distant future, that diagnostics, robots are going to be way, way, way better at doing than actual humans, right? So the role of a doctor is going to change from doing any diagnostic to just be compassion, kind of like. That's going to be like the new role or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Is that okay? Is that
in some circumstances, for sure. There's guys at St. Joe's, for example, that are like world renowned at doing remote surgery. So like you need to have surgery done when you're in space or underwater. They can do that, and they won't make mistakes. Those guys, but still, at the end of the day, if they get in there and there's something you need to hold, they've got two arms. You know what I mean? And like, how quick is AI can definitely
it's gonna be the way of the future.
Can think, but I don't know how fast they're gonna react to certain things. It's gonna take a while to get there. Eventually, I think we'll be able to get there, but I don't think we're gonna get there.
It'll be
we're
sensors hooked
not
up
right
to
now.
a human with a fake human in front of them, cutting the fake human,
Yeah.
and then the robots mimicking everything the human is doing.
Yeah, we had for sure. That's definitely the future. There are things in Emerge you just can't do. You can't get a robot to run back and forth you have to have 10 different robots running around doing all that same stuff and getting
Eventually,
getting interrupted every
eventually
every
we'll have AIs
30
running
seconds.
around. They'll be
Yeah.
losing
Yeah,
their
but in
mobility.
the interim, it's like did you see the news about Elon's new company? What they're doing?
Which one?
The Neuralink.
No,
Oh man.
I don't have don't have news anymore.
You'll love
really.
this. So they did their first announcement, and
I love Elon too, and I haven't read
the new
anything about
company,
it.
He's building the first interface to directly tie into your brain, and the
Oh, we're screwed, man. He's like, we're fucked. When that shit
it's
goes
crazy how
down,
far along they are already, though.
What?
I'll send it to you. You gotta
what's
watch it.
happening?
Basically, I mean, they're the interface. They're creating the interface to link directly into our consciousness and control things via it. And they're already pretty.
Why
far
do they
along.
want to do that? What's the point of
because
that?
it's
AI
Because they
humans.
can.
communicating, because here's the thing, the way of us controlling technology via our fingers or eyes or whatever is just, it's so slow. It's so slow compared to what we could be doing with it's just electrical signals going back.
I don't want anybody knowing what's going on in my brain ever.
Nope,
Well,
me
yeah,
either.
that's gonna happen.
No, man. That cannot happen.
Video just paused.
Did it?
right.
Can you unpause it? Sure. We're going to unpause.
Oh yeah, it's paused here, and there's two left.
battery's dying.
and
Oh, it is?
one left,
No, it should be back now.
and now just me.
Battery's dying.
Oh, yeah?
Eat the last pieces of pizza. Luke.
All right. So my
I'll have one.
I think, guys, I think we killed this day. That was great. It's 4:30, people.
Oh, buzzing it.
Well, my battery's dead. We could plug. How many?
20.
So why did it turn off?
Because it pops up and says 20%.
Oh, is it back on?
It's like bad.
I
Oh.
didn't close the thing that popped up.
Is it okay? So it's back on. Well, it's 4:20, everybody. It's 4:24 actually, and so everybody, hope you're all having an amazing day. We got through we got through one news article.
No, we went through a few.
I know. Oh, did
actually,
we?
Before we go,
Okay, hold on.
the last thing that I put in there, the CBJ or CBG.
Yeah. What about it?
What, like, because I haven't really read that much. What do you, is it just very early days or we just don't know much about it? What's,
It's very early. There's no strain where you can really extract a lot out of it either because
Okay,
it's
they
so
mentioned-
minimal in the plant.
okay.
All cannabinoids pretty much come from one single origin, CBG. And then they eventually, sort of like how we all start as an embryo and then differentiate as humans. It's sort of like it's sort of like your stem cell.
It's the, okay,
It's
the
your
genesis.
it's your young cell that eventually differentiates into all the different cannabinoids, and that's CBG. So it's really hard to get CBG out of a plant because there's not much left of it. It all converts into CBC, into THC,
Early on?
CBD. Yeah, early on, probably in its baby life. I don't know. What do you say?
There should research plants that are in pre-flower.
What?
Oh, okay.
Plants that are in pre-flower starting to develop terpenes and cannabinoids. See what they can pull out of a pre-flower plant.
How old is a pre-flower plant?
Well, if you want a pre-flower plant, all you have to do is flip it to 12-12 lighting, and it will flip in one day. Outside, it'd be custom to season.
Sorry, say that again.
Okay, so your plant's in veg inside under your 24-hour, 18-hour
For how
lighting,
long?
As long as you want.
No, but how do you?
keep it there in perpetuity if you
Yeah, yeah, but how long? Oh, really?
Pre-flower starts is the day you flip it into 12-12. You'll start.
Really?
It just thinks the seasons are changing.
Yeah.
That's it.
It will, and then depending on how.
But it
far
has
into
to grow
pre-flower-
first.
Well, your plant's already vegged.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's this is after veg.
But then you could also do autoflower. Autoflower sprout budding. But they're like manipulated.
So I guess if they want to see how much CBG there is, where are you going to take where do you get that from? I guess you just take it from the.
You're gonna have to engineer strains basically.
Yeah, I think so. To get
Or-
enough CBG.
I don't know enough about it. Maybe try extracting a whole plant that's in pre-flower.
But would it be like?
What are you extracting though? The actual stem?
Well, you can extract THC from any part of the plant.
Right.
So
I guess
there's
so.
obviously going to be CBG somewhere if it's creating it there in the pre-flower stage.
It has to because
So-
that's what it comes
so like
from.
Extract the
everything
whole
else,
plant.
Like even microgreens, right? So the concentration is the same thing with stem cells. It's hyper concentrated, like
In
the amount
certain
of it, right?
areas.
Wouldn't it be the same thing then?
It's a good idea. Yeah, pretty much. You'd have to be. I'm sure there's a part of the plant, maybe the roots, maybe who knows. There's got to be a part of the plant that has a lot of CBG in it.
Hyper concentrated.
I think
Yeah.
it would be throughout the whole thing, and then it would get more focused on areas that have the predominant amounts of cannabinoids. So then, when you're starting to get budlets, like actual little budlets, the first white sprint of pistils and all that on the buds, probably then there would be a lot.
What
on it, I would
function
assume.
was the?
Because that's when
CBD and
THC is developing.
What is the function CBD and THC has in the plant itself? Like, does it do anything for the plant, or is it just like the
It's something the
THC
plant produces.
It's like the protection of it, right? It's like how it protects.
Well, I think the whole bud, the whole flower,
Yeah.
is the protection. Eat it, get high. Don't eat the rest of the plant.
The flower is just the flower.
But I'm sure that's its protection mechanism.
It's a sex organ.
What
What
is?
is?
The flower. It's a sex. It's
No,
a
no, no, but
female
I mean-
sex organ.
Yeah, no, but I mean the THC part of
Right.
it itself. Like,
That's
what
true.
function would
I,
that-
I think it's just something that's produced in the flower. It's just like saying, why does lavender produce lavender?
Well, because it's symbiotic with other things in its environment that it adds to.
What does the plant have to protect itself? I would.
I thought
think
it was the THC that,
I would-
that it
yeah, it would
excreted
just-
it to wrap itself.
or maybe to get other things high that are around it. Who knows?
I think
So
it's
it gets
just
all fucked up and you can't eat me because you're high.
Then that's like okay, so. Say,
Can't find-
look at opium for example. Do you know how you harvest opium?
You cut it, right?
Yeah,
You
you
just
slit
slit it.
the
Right.
slit the balls when they're swollen and that ooze drips
Right,
out.
right.
What the fuck's that ooze for in the plant? Nope. That's like
Well,
asking what THC is for. I
But
really
that's
don't know.
Usually, it's there to detract from an animal eating it, or for there's some genetic reason or some evolution.
I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
a botanist, so I have
I
no
really
idea.
don't know.
I'm
I
a
don't think it's
doctor.
for protection.
I'm just fascinated with the plant itself because there's so many things about it that are unique that aren't in other plants in the same way at
Like
all.
I would think if THC was for protection, it would be poison.
No, there are things. I mean,
Because
there's
a lot of
lots
plants that don't want to be eaten develop poison.
Right. That's fair.
Maybe it is poison for the one of the invasive species that it is, right? So that happens all the time.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, a majority of the invasive species that do destroy your bud love it.
Oh, yeah, so
They
there
like
goes
to
that.
eat it. The only bug that really
It's true,
doesn't
right?
is a
It would be-
ladybug.
Yeah, it would detract spider.
Why
mites.
doesn't the ladybug like it?
Because it's a carnivore.
Oh, because ladybugs
They
eat.
eat mites and pests and things. They don't eat plants.
So it's like the well that brings everybody to. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Here, I'll show you a video.
All right.
Now, look at
Okay.
this.
We'll look at a video and then we're gonna close it up, Al. While he's looking up the video.
No, it's a video from my friend. I have it right
Oh,
here.
what
He's
are we
just
looking
putting
at?
Ladybugs on his plants.
Where do you buy them?
Horticultural store.
You can. Oh my God, he actually has ladybugs.
Tons of them. He's putting them on his plants.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he sent me that the other day.
So you guys can't see this, but what it is he has ladybugs in a bag.
Beautiful buds, eh?
Wow, what is? Those are gorgeous.
ACMPR
wow.
grower.
What's that?
It's an ACMPR grower.
How many plants does he got growing there?
Like almost 200.
Wow.
There's so many of them.
That's a lot of plants. What's he do with all his cannabis?
He's fully licensed.
He's fully licensed. Exactly. Anyway, that looks really awesome.
So he like has his own like factory just for ladybugs then.
No, he
No,
got
he
them
bought
from a
them at a
horticultural
horticultural
store.
store.
Yeah,
You buy
they
them,
sell that
like,
stuff.
if you go up into like Stainer and like Tottenham and like where they do a lot of farming, the big farm depots sell like pest control. So you can buy like nematodes, things like ladybugs, parasitic wasps.
Wait, so they'll
all
use
kinds of shit
ladybugs
like
in
that.
like a field situation or just in a greenhouse situation?
Greenhouse.
Okay.
If you throw them in people might, I don't know, but I think it'd be kind of wasteful. They're expensive.
Yeah, how
They're
much
not
are
cheap.
They? Do you know?
I don't know exactly, but they're not cheap.
I want
Considering that
ladybug
it's a
army, man.
bug.
All right, everybody. Listen, last things in the news. Marijuana research hasn't exploded in Canada because they don't let us. We sort of spoke about that. Banks in the U.S., well, they're ready to take on all your
JP
money.
Morgan are so ready. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. That's the wave. People are leaving Canada. Canada was a great start. You know, I did this. I'm just gonna finish with this last thing. You know, I did this post today that spoke about, and I don't know about you, Al, but you know, prior to legalization, you know, we felt like we had this big mission and this vision, and Al is gone. Where'd he go?
He's there. I
Oh.
can still see him.
And we were, you know, I felt really motivated. And post legalization, I have this, you know, I'm calling it the post legalization blues. You know, the question is, what now? What do we do now? And I think and I'm not the only one. I brought this up with a friend who's like, we're all sort of feeling this what now kind of picture. And I think one of the reasons that we all feel like that, whether it's cannabis or anything else, we'd always feel like the what now because we just have restless souls and our spirits are just meant to not sit. And we're always going to be doing
We need
it.
a new fight.
We need, no matter what it is.
And the fight for equality in this space it doesn't have the same kind of, you know, attachment to it, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah, let's make everything fair and balanced. Yeah, let's, you know,
Yeah.
add on a sign. You know,
Right. Fairness,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like now I feel like I got to be a union
Yeah.
and I'm not a unionist.
Yeah.
So like if
The
now,
revolutionary people are never
Right.
set up the union.
right, exactly. So, you know, it's time to move to a different place. But that being said, you know, there still are things in here that we have to do, you know.
Hey, the next one is like, you know,
It-
Oakland just legalized mushrooms.
Yeah, education. But even education, like
That's a big one.
It's
That's probably
it's
like, yeah.
it's huge right now. But nobody, you know, you know the craziest thing about education. You know, prior to legalization, even everybody in the cannabis world was about education. Everybody shut the fuck off to education now. No, like they all say we're doing education. None of them are doing
Because
education.
they were lying about it being about
Right. So that's what I believe. I believe that there was so much crap out
They
there.
were saying what they needed to at the time.
And there was a few of us that got exploited in the
Oh,
middle of
yeah.
it that
Yeah.
that really wanted those things,
Yeah.
the education and the compassion and all that stuff. And yeah, a lot of us got played in there.
It all comes down to money.
And at the end of the day,
All comes down to
it
money.
came down to
Yeah,
money
people
for a lot
aren't
of
opening
people.
up dispensaries, legal or not, because they're good, you know.
Well, I
Oh,
listen.
shit. If you want to
Benevolent
open
fees.
a legal dispensary, you got to win the freaking golden ticket.
Right.
Like, that's stupid. You get people involved who don't even want to be involved.
Yeah.
They just want a golden ticket.
Yeah, it's like
You know-
what I told you, like no past experience, no involvement in the industry whatsoever, and just
Yeah, and you know, I always had, and I have this, you know, this saying, and I learned it from Rami Reda, a good friend of mine. He says, you know, and so now I use it as my motto. It's patient, product, profit. You got to think about the people. You got to think about what you're selling, and then you can think about making a profit, and that'll all come together. But all that being said, I think it's okay to have the blues a little bit. I think it's okay to feel like we need something because we're restless. That's just who we are at our nature. We see the passion that comes out in people when they get heated up about a topic. That's okay as long as it doesn't relate to end up in harm. But at the end of the day, it's okay to be passionate about those things. And there's always going to be a lot of fights out there. And at the end of the day, we shine. All these restless souls shine, and they'll make their impact. And will continue making that impact on this industry in whichever way that happens. Canacrawl is happening this weekend. We don't. I don't know where it is.
Canacrawl. No, there's no
We don't location.
It hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah, we don't know
know where.
location.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I'm just saying that Canacrawl. We got things happening out there right now.
One thing we do know the location is there is yoga tonight at
6 p.m.
Synergy Burlington on Harvester Road at 6 p.m. with Alicia. Give her a ring if you want to join the class or just drop in and have fun.
Yoga on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. for chronic pain and stress relief. You can do it in a chair if you don't want to do it on the floor. There's lots of alternatives. Lots of people have been showing up the last couple of classes. It's starting to happen. It's really cool. You can medicate and go. We've got a whole thing, vape series yoga in there. You do the same idea. And
That's going to be really helpful for people, right? Do you like medicate?
They keep coming back.
And going to do yoga after.
Yeah.
If you you really need to, just
Zone
stretch in
in.
general, it's got to make it a lot easier on some people.
Oh yeah, I mean CBD for inflammation. It's been really helpful for people. I think that's really where it's
inflammation part,
yeah, the inflammation is really the key. All right, everybody. Any other things? Check out Instagram. I guess you're probably watching it. Dr. Ira Price on Instagram. Check out Tyler at I can't remember his thing, and Lucas, he's on there too. Al at 420 Radio.
Lifestyle 420, right?
Lifestyle Radio, but it's 420radio.ca. You can look us up at.
And Lucas, what's your thing?
Lucaij, so Lucaij.
Cool. And that's it for today, folks. That was fun. That was actually a lot of fun.
Round table styles.
Yeah. Aside from the even the whatever the
Instigation.
bull in the china shop picture started happening here, but it was good. I guess I instigated that a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Well,
Tyler,
I don't
for
think
instigating.
you were trying to get
It's
him
fine.
mad,
I'm
but-
fine.
I'm fine. I'm
yeah.
fine.
Do it again.
I was about to get the hell
I was just
out.
about to leave.
Well, leave. He was like running back and forth. I don't know where he was going.
I was collecting my things.
Anyway, everybody, hope you have a great week. Don't forget to say hi. Send us a note. If you want us to talk about anything, let me know. And if you have any questions, let us know. Peace.